Uh-oh. You be good.
All right, Shalom, first and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto
Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakwadash.
the double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMSVegas Camp, and the sincere Shalom to you accurate bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. We come another week out in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And to tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, that the time is nigh, the time is nigh. And it's imperative that you get all the understanding, knowledge, and wisdom to withstanding this evil day, man. Because those that are not equipped with the knowledge, hey, guess what? Hey, can we grab that Isaiah 33:6? Hey, because those without, man, hey, you're not going to make it. Hey, it's about making sure that you're built through the spirit in order to endure, man. Because without endurance, and without that perseverance, and that's why the scripture also says, without pain in the day of adversity, that strength is small, that strength is weak. Paraphrasing that.
Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure.
Yeah, it says that wisdom and knowledge shall be the strength of thy salvation, right? The fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. Hey, we need everything. This is the time when you should be stocking up on wisdom on every level, man. It's not about just knowing one breakdown. Yeah, that's the basis, that's the beginning, right? Understanding that we all come in this stage, but it's more important that you get all of it. Why? The scripture says you must eat the whole roll, man. That means what? The bitter, and that means the sweet. But it's way more bitter than sweet, man. It's far more bitter than sweet. How do we know? The hell that's about to come.
And an important thing to know about that bitter and sweet is the bitter is actually better for you than the sweet. The bitter actually allows the healing to happen. Okay, it's what I'm trying to think. I think it's in Ecclesiastes 7. It says, by the heart is made better, by sorrow the heart is made better. So a lot of those bitter situations, bitter things are what's going to have you prepared for the bitter time we're coming into. You got it, brother.
Yeah, so the Lord, he has to build his men up. Because we're in the spiritual war right now. And also the Lord has to build his men up in the spirit to be basically endured. You know, he's building up warriors, spiritual warriors. Alright? So it's just like the military, basic training. You go through basic training, you gotta basically the rigors of it, you know, exercising every day, you know, doing different kinds of training all day, building up your mind, book reading, you know,
Going through mental stress, physical stress.
testing, chastisement, you know, just basically just like the military. All right,
This is King David's army.
Exactly. Under King David, man.
Like you said, the bitter is what helps you grow, right? Understand the bitter is what builds that foundation, man. Hey, because you have to be in a mindset that you can potentially get harder. And you need what? You need all that wisdom in order to endure through that up to that time, right? Hey, now we don't know if we're going to be robbers or not, but that's the mindset that you're supposed to be in. Because it can happen to you. The Lord said, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. When we go into Isaiah 53, and it speaks about how it pleased the Lord to bruise Yahweh Shai, man. So understand, hey, we're far insignificant and on no level compared to Yahweh Shai. So how much more us?
Yeah, this is Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yeah. So if you're not equipped with a certain piece of armor, guess what? You're lacking. That means you either have a clink or you're wide open for an attack, man.
And you gotta be worthy to wear the armor. You know? If you're going out to war, you have to be a soldier first. You have to have that mind state to put on armor. You know?
We all swore something. We all swore something. Yeah.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
Having done all to stand. When you go into all those pieces of armor, it says what? The breastplate of faith. Because you understand that what? Without faith it is impossible to please him. It says what? The head shod, the feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, the helmet of salvation, right? And what? The sword of the Spirit, which is the word, man. So you have to have every piece of armor, and like you said, this is the army, man. This is Yahweh Shai's army. This is the governing body, or when we be those men, that's gonna reign in the new kingdom to come, man. So order has to be established regardless. Because the Lord doesn't deal, he hates disorder, man. Hey, when creation started, dealing with the Alahayim, that was an order. Yahweh Shai being the chief of the Alahayim, and then what? The rest of the elect, man. Hey, even when you look at how Noah was to build the ark, Yahweh was very specific on what cubits needed to be what, up to what dimension, man. Because the ark needed to be built exactly to the measurements of how he wanted it to be. Because it was animals that needed to be in certain places. You know? Hey, the water was going to be pushed up against the ark a certain way. You know? We're dealing with tide. Hey, we're dealing with Jake knocking on the door trying to break it. So all these different elements the ark had to withstand all these different so-called adversities, man. Right? What's the same with the governing body? If a body isn't tight knit, guess what? When there's a clink, that means infiltration can happen. Right? And what happens with infiltration? Same thing as leather.
It's only as strong as your weakest link.
Literally.
Fine. You were talking about the cubics of the ark. You think about going to the cubics of the temple.
Yeah.
King Solomon. It was everything was precise. And what are we building right now?
Temple. Third temple.
And the bigger the temple, because it's not visible.
Like when one person is vulnerable, that makes everybody vulnerable. Because you think about building a house, everybody can be on point, and then that one person can be off on their measurements, and that can cause the whole house to fall in.
What I was thinking earlier was that 300 analogy from the movie 300.
Yeah, I was in that. Yeah.
When he said, when the hunchback dude came and said, "They're not just all to be in your army," and he was like, "Lift your shield a certain height," and he couldn't do it. Well, he said every man basically gave him the order of how we fight. We fight as an impenetrable unit.
Hey, but he gave him the job though.
But he did give him
part of the body.
Yeah, he still gave him a job.
He said he cleaned up the body or something.
Yeah, he didn't like this.
Still gave him a job to do.
Yep.
To be a part of them.
Yep.
Even though he ain't, he wasn't looking for that type of job, but he still had a job.
Right. Under Rule 91. Very good point.
The Lord is looking for that specific attitude that men must possess
Let them
coming
through.
into this thing. He's looking for a particular attitude, all right, a particular spirit, all right, because the Lord is building his house right here on earth. He's building his government right here on earth. And whatsoever done in heaven shall be done on earth. The Lord, he's always dealt that way. All right. Now, brothers is dealing with the specifics of being in a warrior mindset, because the Lord is building an army. One of the things that they look for in men to join their army or their military is fortitude. Anybody know what fortitude means? Huh? Mental endurance. You pulling up something?
Definition.
Read the definition.
Read it loud, please.
Who got it?
Because, like, just to give an example, when Gideon was gathering his army, you had a bunch of men that volunteered to come and join for the battle.
Yeah.
But the Most High gave him a specific instruction, because The Lord already knew not every man was fit. Not every man was built to join in battle. So the Lord gave specific techniques to prove that these men were a good fit to come and actually fight in that battle.
Right.
But what was one of the first things he did to filter that out?
So if you're afraid, go home.
If you scary, bounce. Because it takes what? It takes fortitude. It takes fortitude. That's one of the main things. All right.
And
When you read Revelation 21, when it talks about the fearful and the unbelieving, the fearful is talking about the timid. If you're timid, that's the opposite of somebody that has fortitude. You got the definition?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fortitude. Strength of mind that enables a person to encounter danger or bear pain and adversity.
See that?
I'm thinking of that Marine commercial, right? It goes, there are some that run toward the sound of gunfire and battle.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Which mind are you going to be in? If you saw a road right now, where are we going to run to? Nowhere. You know what I mean? Are we going to be scared? It's thoughts like that.
Another thing to back you up, what you were saying, when they said they were feared, I think the apostle or somebody brought this out. They said, fear is contagious.
Oh yeah.
So
doubt is contagious.
Right.
As well.
Because guess what? If y'all about to get into it, y'all about to fight it out on the battlefield, and there's a few men on the ground that's showing cowardice and showing bits of fear. Other men are gonna start to have that same feeling.
What's an account of that? King David.
I was doing it right now with Goliath.
We got a precept over here as well.
With Goliath?
Yeah, we have one before that.
Okay, y'all got it.
As to why King David was chosen. It's like as to why David was chosen.
Samuel?
Yeah, First Samuel. 1 Samuel 17 and 13. And the three eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. Because King David wasn't the oldest, right? So it's like he's gonna be. And the names of his three sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next unto him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the three eldest followed Saul. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. Right, and that's spiritual in itself, man. Because it said what? David was feeding the sheep, or was the keeper of the sheep. But you understand that job is very important to Yahweh, man. Because that's the job in which we're doing. We're feeders of the sheep, man. Hey, we're pushing this message so that the sheep get fed. And it starts with our elders and apostles, man. It's like our apostles and elders. And the elders of that our apostles had as well. Right? Because these men laid forth that foundation, hey, for us to understand. You know, when you go into Malachi, the 4th chapter, it speaks about Elijah being sent. Right? You guys know who Elijah is? Yeah, it's like you're right, but I mean like who Elijah was coming back in the 60s. That was teaching.
Oh yeah, how about Vivian?
Yeah, Abba Bivens coming. Abba Bivens, yeah. It says, and the Philistine drew near morning and evening, and presented himself 40 days. And Jesse said unto David his son, take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren, and carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how the brethren fare, and take their pledge. Now Saul and David and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went, and Jesse had commanded him, as Jesse had commanded him, and he came to the trench, as the host was going forth to the fight, shouting for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array of army against army.
Now, I let it slide. David was still a tender of sheep. A tender of keeping men and make sure they was good. So he still went and was a shepherd of the men. He went out to be a shepherd of men. There's little clues like that in the scriptures that you have to pick up on. Those are the qualities that the Lord looks at and he appreciates. And because those are men fit for him, for his ministry.